Welcome to this introduction to TextIQ for Privacy. Today, we will be covering the emergence of Privacy 2.0, how TextIQ for Privacy is addressing these challenges, key benefits of using our privacy platform, and a few case studies on how we've helped our clients prepare for Privacy 2.0. First off, what does Privacy 2.0 mean, and what implications does it have for your organization? Number one, enterprise data is propagating at an increasing rate, and 80% of it is unstructured, and therefore more difficult to categorize and understand. Number two, the increasing frequency, severity, and consequences of data breach incidents, which can cost a company millions of dollars while attracting unwanted public and regulatory scrutiny. Number three, the increasing and maturation of state-level and federal privacy regulations in the United States. And number four, continuing trends towards cloud migrations, which increase the need to understand the data being migrated. One microcosm in which we have seen Privacy 2.0 manifest is in the dynamic between CCPA and CPRA. Many industry experts view the California Privacy Rights Act of 2020 as the big brother to CCPA, as it added to and matured many of the stipulations of its predecessor. For example, the definition of personal information has expanded to include many categories of sensitive personal information previously not emphasized, including things like race, religion, and political beliefs. Number two, the right to delete data has expanded beyond directly collected data to include data being collected from third parties as well, and has expanded in scope to the right to delete, correct, or restrict that information. And number three, a broad mandate for data minimization. That is to say, organizations should collect and retain only the minimum data required. So why is it so difficult for organizations to meet these growing regulatory and privacy ecosystem challenges? A lot of it comes down to a struggle between two sides of an organization. One side which looks upon data as a source of power, and these include folks in operations, business analytics, etc., which seek to analyze data to propel the business forward, in addition to folks in legal and audit who see it as their responsibility to retain data for their core mission. The other side considers data a liability. These are privacy officers or folks in the IT org who see personal data as mines waiting to set off in the data lake and want to get rid of the hot potatoes as quickly as possible. Before TextIQ, it has been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to meet the needs of both sides due to the scalability and accuracy required to identify, categorize, and clean out personal data from a data lake so that the contents can be used by business units or safely stored. TextIQ's AI provides that crucial capability. Moreover, the privacy landscape has shifted. Here you see a graph of sensitive information where the further up and right you go, the more sensitive and difficult to identify the personal information becomes. As a caveat, the placements of particular personal information varies by industry, company, and situation. But the point remains that some personal information that is extremely difficult to identify has now become under focus in the new regulatory landscape of Privacy 2.0. The privacy landscape has shifted, and that means the technology tools that companies need has also shifted. Companies need true AI solutions like TextIQ's privacy platform to identify information that is extremely sensitive and extremely difficult to find, while also minimizing false positives and achieving a high degree of accuracy. And this is how TextIQ is addressing the new Privacy 2.0 challenges. We sit on top of various structured and unstructured data sources, connecting directly with the enterprise data lake, using natural language processing and machine learning models to provide a layer of structure on top of this data. Our AI discerns the relationships between people and the semantic context involved in your data, which is key in understanding what is truly sensitive beyond the four corners of a document or database. With this layer of structure applied, we have built powerful applications to empower organizations' privacy workflows, including data categorization, discovery and redaction, data breach incident response, and data subject access request, or DSAR. Our four modules power distinct privacy workflows, but all rely on our core AI capability of accurately and efficiently identifying and categorizing sensitive personal data. Across our privacy use cases, our platform offers three primary value propositions, which are: number one, increased accuracy and therefore reduced risk compared to other technologies. Number 2, cost savings from minimizing the need for human intervention or training. And number 3, turnaround time reduction to meet regulatory and compliance deadlines. Diving into our software, I'd like to illustrate how our privacy platform is able to automate PI assessment at scale. Using our platform, organizations are able to accelerate their PII visibility through our impact assessment. Our out-of-the-box detector libraries and custom detectors are able to discover sensitive data with a high degree of accuracy compared to traditional technologies like search terms or regular expression. To give you all an example of how our AI operates in unstructured data, here's an example of how our technology would work on one particular email. In this email, 2 employees, Andrea and Mary, are talking about a third employee, Barbara Stumpton. One of the employees, Mary, mentions Barbara's social security number, but if you'll notice here, it's not formatted correctly. It's not in the traditional 3-2-4 format, nor is she using any keyword indicators like SSN or the word social security. So how is our AI able to capture this example? Well, because our AI operates on a contextual and semantic level, our AI would look at that 9-digit number and think, okay, it could be an SSN, but it'll look at the broader context of the sentence, hone in on the word social. Notice it's misspelled, but spelled similarly to the word social, and then from there, it'll discern Mary means social security number. And so using that information, the AI is able to confidently predict that this 9-digit number is in fact a social security number, but it goes one step further and is actually able to tie that back to the person it belongs to, in this case, Barbara Stumpton. And it's able to discern that from the grammar and structure of the sentence. So in this example, you see how our AI is able to capture and identify and categorize this sensitive personal information despite a lot of the challenges of this unstructured data format. And to give you all an example in structured data, here's an example of how our AI would work on a database table. So in this table, you could imagine that it's millions and millions of rows and hundreds of columns, and many of the column names are indecipherable or hard to understand. But what our AI is doing is looking at a combination of clues in the header and the contents itself to identify and correctly categorize the fields within this table. And for fields such as consumer statement fields, it's actually able to treat each cell like an unstructured document and find certain sensitive information within each cell, even if not every row contains sensitive information. So for example, in some of these rows, which look to be consumer call statements or call logs, the customer service agent mentions the social security numbers of the customer. And in those situations, our AI is able to discern and categorize that information, even if only a handful of rows actually contain sensitive information among millions. Another huge advantage of TextIQ for privacy is the ability of our AI brain to learn from human feedback and your organization's specific privacy needs. Our AI has trained on real enterprise data, which has allowed us to build an invaluable data set that has allowed us to outperform technology companies in accuracy, both precision and recall. Our AI brain is trained on specific industries such as financial services, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, energy, technology, and others, and is able to identify industry-specific lingo and industry-specific contextual sensitive information. And finally, here are a few real customer success examples from some of our existing clients. For one of our clients, a Fortune 500 pharmaceutical company, we were able to identify and redact personal information in clinical trial data, empower the business with data without violating privacy regulations and patient confidentiality, and help them build an AI center of excellence. For another client, a financial services company, we were able to identify and categorize personal information and 300 petabytes of Amazon S3 data. In analyzing both structured and unstructured data, we were able to expand assessments across the Snowflake data lakes as well. And in a client who is a US utility company, we were able to help them automate fulfillment of DSAR requests using our privacy platform, identify data subjects across structured and unstructured data sources, as well as correlate, deduplicate, and report personal information. And to learn more, please visit textiq.com/privacy. Thank you.